Louise is the head of talent at Ipsos MORI, and diversity and inclusion has been a key board level priority for some time there, and that's only been heightened by recent events. So diversity is a cornerstone of our talent partnership with Ipsos MORI, and I'm really delighted that Louise has agreed to talk us through their journey of diversity-centric recruitment, as well as some of the further changes that they have on the horizon. Thanks for joining us, Louise.
Morning everybody, very excited to be with you today to share what we've done so far. Listening to the previous speakers, my thoughts are we've done a lot, but there's a lot more still to do. So let me talk you through where we started really. So as Felix said, we've had a focus on diversity and inclusion for probably two and a half years now. I kind of did a shout out early 2018 to anyone in the business who was interested in joining me in a diversity and inclusion group and see if we could affect some change around the business. I got about 25 people, which was really encouraging. And we kind of muddled through a little bit, engaged the board and made some kind of impactful changes, I think, in terms of things like policy. We ran some unconscious bias training, we looked at our reward processes, tried to remove bias where we could, did things like we now match paternity and maternity pay, which was quite revolutionary at the time and goes down really well with our employees, ran unconscious bias training, that kind of thing. So we evolved diversity and inclusion as much as we could, and then we decided we needed a bit of a rebrand and to raise the profile. So we rebranded ourselves as Belong, because that's how we want people to feel at Ipsos MORI, that they belong with our organisation. And as part of that, we have successfully created, well, the employees have created a number of really engaging networks. So we have a women's network, we have a BAME network, which is called Reach. We have a Pride network, a Parent and Carers network, and an EU Nationals network. And they've been absolutely fundamental in making change and engaging the wider organisation and the things that we've tried to do around diversity and inclusion. So that's kind of our sharper focus on D&I. My kind of particular role is obviously head of talent, is looking after, one of my roles is looking after recruitment. And as I think it was Rob said earlier, that a good place to start is in early careers, and we realised that. So we made that our focus of the things that we wanted to achieve. So about the same time, so around 2018, we started talking to Instant Impact about working with them. And we are traditionally a graduate employer, you know, even probably 5 or so years ago an Oxbridge employer, which, you know, wasn't really seeing what we wanted in terms of diversity in both applications and hires. So started working with Instant Impact, and they helped us review our approach to our recruitment and how we did our attraction and selection. One of the key changes that we made was we managed to persuade the UK Management Board to agree to remove the academic requirements to apply. So we previously required applicants to have a 2-1 degree as a minimum and 300 UCAS points, but they agreed that we could remove that, which obviously opens up the application field for many more people to apply. We also have a blind application process, so rather than a CV in the first instance, all of our graduate applications come through on an application form, which Instant Impact help us to screen, so we don't know who they are and whether they get through the process or not. So that's really been positive. And as a result, I guess, of the removal of, we were looking at our 2019 data. So what our first full year looked like of our new process around our graduate hiring, and 15% of the grads that we hired would have been rejected previously at CV screen because of their academic requirements. So it means that we've obviously made some, you know, progress in terms of allowing a wider group of people to be successful in our business, which is really good. The other thing that we looked at in our 2019 data was that 26% of our intake are from the BAME background, which is a really pleasing thing for us to see. One of the other things slightly unusual, I'd say, we have a very female orientated organisation. So for those of you that don't know, Ipsos MORI, we're a market research agency, global organisation, but we at the moment we're talking about the UK. We're very female. So one of our goals, sometimes we'd end up with a whole cohort of grads that were female, and the business just kind of weren't comfortable with that. So we actually worked with Impact to attract more males, which I know is slightly unusual in the world of D&I, but anyway, so we've done a great job there as well. So we went from 28% male hires right up to 47%. So that's just something interesting, I think. As well as the graduate programme, Early Careers obviously incorporates things like placements and internships, which we then work through to pipeline into grad roles. One of the key things that I'm working on at the moment is new entry points, I call them, in terms of how can we get people from different backgrounds who may not decide to go to university for various reasons, how can we get those into the industry? So we run apprenticeships. We run them at the moment in project management, data analysts, we have one HR, finance, etc. And that's been really interesting to see the apprentices that come through. And again, we have a much more diverse mix of people in our apprentice roles than we have previously seen in graduate roles, for example. Another exciting thing is that I am currently chairing the Trailblazer group for a new apprenticeship in market research, which doesn't as yet exist. But that will be really, really, really positive, because it means that we can bring apprentices into our core part of our business. And I'm thinking about how we can, you know, potentially have a percentage of a commitment to a percentage of apprentices to fulfil grad roles, as well as, kind of research executive roles, rather than come through the university graduate route. So there's some really exciting stuff that we're thinking about in Early Careers there around apprenticeships. And finally, just for kind of a bit of background, we have a couple of really strong school partnerships. So our main office in London is in St Catherine's Dock, so pretty much in Wapping. And we have schools partnerships with local school in Southwark. We're building one soon in the Nunhead area and also in Wembley. So we do work with them in terms of sort of personal brand, CV work, and also a strong work experience programme. So we bring the students in. We have, I think last year we had about 30 work experience students coming in. So they get to see what it's like within the corporate world and whether they like market research, and therefore can we start to pipeline them from that kind of age. So that's kind of the early careers journey that we've been on, with a lot of support from Instant Impact, which I'm very, very grateful for. And then I suppose just move on quickly to what's next. And lots of things I've heard this morning makes me think, oh gosh, definitely need to do that, definitely need to do that. Some things, we do have a strong ambition to open our industry up and our organisation to a wider demographic. We want to look at where we advertise, like Rob was saying, look at what job boards are we using, what's our social media saying, how can we attract people into our organisation. We want to continue to use tech to remove bias, so I might talk to Applied about that. We're going to continue training our managers, again, as Rob said, to help them understand why this is important, what difference it makes. Continue our partnerships with schools. We've also got a close partnership with Queen Mary University London, and we'll continue that. And the Amos Bursary, Colleen, I will probably be in touch to have a conversation, because that sounds really interesting. We have a programme where we recruit refugees into our business, and that for the future is something we want to continue to do and expand on. Obviously the apprenticeships as a pipeline I've mentioned, but basically we want to replicate what we've done in Early Careers in our experience hire space. And I know Kwaku mentioned the ethnicity pay gap. We have committed to report on the ethnicity pay gap by the end of this year. So that's something that we're looking to do around data and making sure that we know where we're working from and what goals we need to achieve. So lots to do. Again, happy to share, talk, or any questions anyone has.
Well, thanks so much